Hi everyone. Today's unit that we'll be doing is business communication. And the learning outcome we'll be doing today is learning outcome 4, which is can review personal communication skills. Before we carry on with learning outcome 4, I just want to give you a summary of what we did in the last session, which was learning outcome 3, to understand how organizations communicate with actual customers. So we looked at introducing the area, which is looking at effective communication with customers and how crucial that is for any sort of organisation to establish this strong relationship to enhance any sort of customer satisfaction. And we looked at key factors which we need to consider when communicating with customers, things like communication systems, effective solutions for handling like customer queries, complaints, things like that. We went on to look at, firstly, at key factors for communicating with customers and understanding customers' needs and preferences in order to, conduct any sort of market research to see whether, what their behavior is, what they want, to gather any sort of feedback from the customer, because that's really important to look at, designing products, any sort of market research and tailoring customers' needs as preferences and targeting the relevant audience. We also looked at, market research, focus groups, customer data, analysing and soliciting any sort of feedback to customers, and focus groups. And we looked at how this would entice like customers' value and expect organisations to use these strategies to target their audience. We then looked at consistency in messaging, and we looked at why consistency is so important for any organisation or business to build their brand recognition and to build that trust between customers. And we also looked at why communication is so important through different channels such as websites, social media, email, advertising, and how we could reinforce our values, our identity to foster any sort of customer loyalty and engagement. And this is really important because these are the channels that get through to customers, things like emails, advertising. Social media is a big growing thing within any organization to get your branding out there, to reinforce your values and also get your identity out there and try to, get your communication messages across to the customer, so that you build this rapport where you've got trust among your customers and that loyalty, because that's really important in customer relationship. We also looked at personalization and customization and looked at tailoring towards consumers' needs and targeting customers' needs and interests. And we looked at things like customer engagement, satisfaction, and loyalty, and that is the main thing that drives and builds up an organization or a business, to become more successful, and look at customer data and how that is important. So when we look at the customer data, we identify any sort of elements that are, that are a preference to the customer and what their behaviors are and what their expectations are. And we try and tailor the brand around that, and customizing things so that people are out there and they're able to, build up their brand, but also it drives the customer, the business growth as well. We also looked at timeliness and responsiveness, and that's a critical aspect of any business, because it's where you effectively communicate with the customers, but also respond to them promptly by, if they've given you feedback, you respond back to the feedback promptly and in a good time manner rather than just ignoring it. And also complaints, dealing with complaints and demonstrating their commitment to customer satisfaction. So if you're dealing with things promptly and effectively, then, you know, you're providing responses to any sort of customer inquiries, feedback, any complaints. You know, you build this trust and credibility with customers, and you know, they're quite loyal to the overall experience, and they provide loyalty to that brand. Clarity and transparency is another really essential element in regards to building trust and credibility with your customers. So you should ensure that messages are communicated clearly, they are concise, and they are easily understood by the person reading them. So you should try to avoid using any sort of slang or any sort of technical jargon so that they don't understand. So, you know, try to be more transparent, be honest, you know, because honest information, you know, honesty is the best policy. But even when you're addressing customers about any sort of products, services, pricing, any policies, and, you know, it creates that trust in the relationship between the customer and the business, you know, so it builds up that loyalty and credibility with your customers. So it's really important that you are honest and about your products, services, and any sort of policies. Another one which is quite a crucial role within effective communication is empathy and emotional intelligence, where organizations should train their employees to empathize with customers' concerns, emotions, and perspectives, showing understanding and compassion rather than ignoring people's, you know, customers' concerns, emotions. You know, by demonstrating any sort of empathy, a business or an organization can build that rapport with the customer and create a positive experience that can foster customer loyalty and advocacy. So it's really important that you're able to show empathy and emotional intelligence, and, you know, emotion, and be perspective, showing understanding. Understanding is really important for you as an organization, so you understand the customer's needs, you understand, you know, what they're going through, or if there's any sort of issues of empathy, you need to try to elaborate on that. Another one is compliance. So this is really important for any organization or a business in regards to complying with any sort of laws and any sort of regulatory requirements. So, you know, things like ethical issues and, you know, things for communicating. An organization must adhere to the laws and regulations, consumer protection, consumer rights, data privacy, GDPR, advertising and marketing practices. So you must comply with all these legal and regulatory requirements to avoid any sort of legal risks, protecting your customers' trust and upholding the reputation of a business. It's really important. If you follow these requirements that are put in place for business and other organizations, then you are building up a reputable organization or a business and a trustworthy business, so people will come back to you, and you are protecting your customers' trust. Systems for customers. Now, most organizations use various systems and businesses to facilitate any sort of customer channels or touch points. The one we talked about was the customer relationship management, CRM software, which looked at email platforms, social media tools, customer support, feedback surveys, and how this worked within an organization. We looked at how it's there to manage and analyze customer interactions and data throughout the customer's life cycle. And these systems are there to store information, track customer interactions, manage any sort of sales, and personalize customers. So it's really important that we looked at these systems in regard to enhancing the relationship with customers, but also driving sales as well, and communicating with customers. Email communication, which we looked at, is communicating with customers via emails, such as email marketing, automation, segmentation. So, you know, sending emails and having this platform to communicate via emails, to send any sort of promotional campaigns, newsletters, customer service communications, engaging with the customers. We also looked at social media tools, which is another growing thing at the moment. and looks at things like scheduling, publishing, monitoring, engagement, and how social media management tools are used to create any sort of content, respond to customers' inquiries and feedback, because that's really important that we keep on top of that, and you don't want to fall back and try to keep your brand at the top level, but also the communication with your customers through social media, and try to respond to them as quick as possible. Customer support systems such as help desk software, ticketing systems used to organize, manage, and resolve customer inquiries. And these enable organizations to track and prioritize customer tickets. So we looked at, and this improves customer satisfaction and loyalty. We looked at feedback and survey platforms, and these are used to collect any sort of feedback and gather any sort of insights on preferences and experiences from customers, and can identify areas for improvement, which helps us measure any sort of customer satisfaction and helps us improve our service. We looked at our marketing automation software to automate marketing processes and campaigns, and personalize the communication with the customer, such as email marketing, social media, segmentation, and looking at the marketing software and how it helps organizations. So that was learning outcome 3. Now we're moving on to learning outcome 4, which is can review personal communication skills. So looking at what personal communication skills are. So effective personal communication skills are indispensable for success in various facets of life, including professional, academic, and personal realms. Individuals with strong communication abilities can express themselves clearly, connect with others effectively, and navigate interpersonal interactions with confidence and empathy. In this presentation, we will delve into 4 key areas of personal communication skills: verbal communication, written communication, listening skills, and reading skills. Through a process of feedback and personal reflection, we will also assess the effectiveness of each skill and develop comprehensive plan to enhance them for greater proficiency and success. So interpersonal communication is the process of sharing both ideas and emotions verbally and non-verbally with another person. It allows us to interact with and understand others in our personal and professional lives. So in the workplace, hiring managers often for employees with strong interpersonal skills who will collaborate and communicate well with their colleagues. So, it's really important that interpersonal skills is known as people skills. So you communicate, you understand, you're listening actively. These are really important, and they all involve communication. So either it be verbal or non-verbal, we listening, gestures, expressions, and they're really important for communicating and working with different groups of people in your personal and professional life. As we just mentioned, people with strong interpersonal skills tend to build good relationships and work well with others. They understand family, friends, co-workers, and clients well. People often enjoy working with colleagues who have good interpersonal skills. And, it's the ability to solve problems and make decisions and, try to understand others and try to come to a best solution or make the best decision for everyone involved, rather than, trying to brush things under the carpet. So, interpersonal skills are really important in any form of communication, and, employers like that because these people work well within a team and collaborate well effectively individually and within a team, and obviously tend to be good leaders at the end of the day because they have the ability to communicate and motivate those around them. So, it's really good skill to have. So verbal communication, and this is really important in any organization when talking about verbal communication. So, verbal communication encompasses not only the spoken word, but also tone, body language, and overall delivery. Effective verbal communication involves articulating ideas clearly, using appropriate tone and language, and engaging with listeners effectively. Reviewing personal verbal communication skills entails seeking feedback on various aspects such as clarity of speech, modularization of tone, use of non-verbal cues, and level of confidence in delivery. Through personal reflection, individuals can identify their strengths and areas for improvement in verbal communication, paving the way for targeted skill development and enhancement. So any sort of effective verbal communication can help ensure that everyone is on the same page and then avoid any sort of misunderstandings. So, it's really important that, when we look at verbal communication, it's a skill it plays a key role within like any organization or a business, because it focuses on, communicating verbally. It's a kind of communication where you use like things like words we mentioned. It could be information to share with others. And everyone uses verbal communication to communicate with everyone, even the simplest of things. So, for example, have you seen an infant cry out hungry when they're in discomfort? It is their verbal skill to communicate that there's a problem that needs attention. Professionally, different verbal skills are used for clarity, cohesion, and concrete information transmission. Effective oral communication can range from speaking clearly, like we just mentioned, to the more detailed way of communicating with perfectly articulated, cohesive information. Your verbal communication skills can define your personality, as we mentioned, and your leadership skills too. So, it's really important. An example would be the launch of the iPhone presentation by Steve Jobs. Is it the perfect example for effective verbal communication that conveyed the message in the most powerful and functional manner in regards to the launch of the iPhone? The importance of verbal communication can be seen at interpersonal levels in both your personal and professional lives. And sometimes it helps you express yourself, helps you think, gives you clarity, motivates you, and saves time. A good orator can put across their ideas and thoughts in a large audience. So when you improve your verbal skills, you can communicate ideas more effectively at all levels, and verbal communication skills to express ideas to another. And, there are daily verbal communication that we use day to day, more personal verbal communication while attending a job interview. It could be things like you may, whilst you're in a stressful situation, it could be anything. So verbal communication is really, really important in an organization. The next one is written communication. Okay, so written communication is the conveyance of messages through written words encompassing emails, reports, memos, and other written documents. Effective written communication requires clarity, coherence, organization, grammar proficiency, and adherence to the professional standards. When reviewing personal written communication skills, individuals should evaluate their ability to express ideas, clearly structure content logically, and maintain grammatical accuracy, and convey professionalism in their written correspondence. So it's really important that if it's looking at the situation, if it's a business situation, a formal situation, you're professional in how you write. If it's informal, then you write in an informal manner. But if it's formal, it needs to be done in a professional manner. Soliciting feedback from peers or mentors and engaging in personal reflection can help individuals identify areas of strength and areas for improvement in written communication. It is really important, is written communication in any aspect of human interaction for several reasons. It provides a permanent and tangible record of information that can be referred to, and it also can be used at any time. So it's really important for any organization. In a business setting, written documents sometimes and most often serve as legally binding agreements and provide clarity and security transactions. So when we look at written communication, it's so important within any organization because it provides a permanent record of information that can be referred to in any time. It also conveys a lot of ideas, as we mentioned, sharing knowledge and transmitting information across vast distances and diverse audience. Without written communication, much of our history, culture, and scientific discoveries would be lost or forgotten. It's really important and very crucial within our lives from the moment we open our eyes in the morning until we switch off the light to sleep in the evening. So it's really important. Although we can write about literally anything, there are 4 types of written communication in the workplace: informational, instructional, transactional, and persuasive. And, you know, these are the ones that are used in a workplace. People use different kinds of communication channels depending on the messages receiver, the context, and the type of information that needs to be sent. So there could be things like letters, emails, books, instant messaging, social media, which is a big one, and websites. You know, there are only a few examples, but you can choose a selection of different, you know, written communication. There are advantages and disadvantages of written communication. Written communication offers many advantages. Things like, you know, written documents provide a permanent record of communication, as we mentioned, and that can be stored. Clarity and accuracy. So writing allows you to carefully consider your message, choose your words wisely, and edit and revise necessary to ensure the message is clear, concise, and error-free. It's a wide reach, so written communication can be easily distributed to a large audience across the globe, and it's legally binding. So written documents can be used as evidence in legal proceedings and can serve as legal binding agreements between parties. And flexibility is another one. So written communication provides flexibility in terms of when and where messages can be delivered and received. You can write and send messages at any time, and recipients can read and respond at their own convenience. So, you know, it is quite good, some good advantages there in regards to written communication. A few disadvantages as well is writing a perfect document takes time more than speaking the same message out aloud, so which can actually slow down some forms of communication in regards to that. Writing requires materials such as paper, pen, or a computer or internet connection, which can be, for some people, costly or inaccessible. Once something is written and published, it is difficult to change, which can cause misunderstandings or legal issues. And not everyone, which is quite a big one, not everyone is literate and can understand written information, so it can limit your audience, you know, and for your written communication, you know, so it's really, you know, we have oral communication is the process of exchanging information through, like we mentioned, words and non-cues. Written communication information through letters, symbols, and drawings. You know, it's written communication, you know, it's a really important tool that is used to process any sort of written message to anyone. People make choices depending on the message receiver and the content and the information they need. So, you know, it's important for an organisation in regards to, you know, trying to convey their message across and make sure that the message they convey across is clear. And written communication is literally a great way to express yourself with words on paper. We've got listening skills, another really important and effective element of communication, which is listening skills are fundamental to effective communication as they involve actively receiving and comprehending verbal and non-verbal messages from others. Effective listening requires concentration, empathy, patience, and the ability to provide appropriate responses. So when reviewing personal listening skills, individuals should assess their ability to focus on the speaker, understand their message, so what they are trying to get across to them, empathize with their perspective, and respond appropriately. Feedback from peers or mentors coupled with personal reflection can eliminate areas where individuals excel in listening and areas where they may need to refine their skills. So listening skills, as we mentioned, are really crucial within both academic and professional settings as they facilitate effective communication and understanding. By actively listening, individuals can absorb information more accurately, engage in meaningful discussions, and build stronger relationships. So, you know, listening is really, really important because, you know, being a good listener helps solve problems. So it could be, you know, me as a tutor, if I don't listen properly to a student, I'm not helping them solve their problems if they're confused, or if they need, you know, to be able to find out what this assignment means. They may not be able to understand the message. So if I'm not there as a good listener, then it would be difficult to resolve any sort of conflicts or anything. So being a good listener would help solve problems, resolve any sort of conflicts, and improve relationships. So in the workplace, effective listening contributions to fewer errors, less wasted time, and improved accuracy. Effective listening builds friendship and careers. So it's really important when we talk about how important listening is. You know, it's one of the you know, where, you know, a good listener is really someone who listens to the speaker and receives and interprets the message accurately. You know, listening is an important skill. You know, sometimes, you know, it indicates the ability to interpret information. Without active listening, you won't be able to receive and interpret the message. As a result, the communication process, you know, it will break down. And the speaker can quickly become irritated. And it could be the fact that, you know, me listening to a student and not being able to listen properly to what the student is saying, then it's quite confusing what they're trying to get across. So listening skills are a vital part of good communication. If you have good communication skills, you can start to improve relationships in the workplace as well as society. You'll be able to make decisions, you know, effectively. Good listening skill reduces misunderstandings, builds empathy, also limits any sort of judgments, improves business relationships. It also increases productivity, enhances any sort of leadership skills and providing feedback. It also enhancing communication skills through specialized learning. So, you know, it's really important when we talk about listening skills, why it's so important in regards to an organization. But a good listener, you know, to listen, you know, we make a conscious effort not to just hear what people are saying, but to take it in. You know, if you're talking to a friend and they want to talk about something that's quite personal to them, you know, we have to be conscious of what they are saying and digest it and understand. Not only does listening enhance your ability to understand them better, and make you a better communicator, it's also the experience of speaking to you, making it more enjoyable for other people. You know, so they you know, they are able to, they will feel more at ease and they will feel more comfort that you are listening to them. Good listening skills also lead to greater customer satisfaction within a business. And as we mentioned, higher productivity, fewer errors and misunderstanding, and engaging, you know, exchange of information across, you know. So if you're listening to someone, you're able to, you know, facilitate them and, you know, get their information across. And in regards to becoming a better student, effective listening can help you more effective in your interpersonal relationships. Effective listening can lead others to perceive you as intelligent. Effective listening can help you become a strong public speaker as well, you know, to identify that you're able to understand and listen to everything. The next one we're looking at is reading skills. So reading skills, again, another important element of any sort of skills of communication. Reading skills encompass the ability to comprehend, analyze, and interpret written information effectively. Strong reading skills are essential for academic success, professional development, and personal growth. When reviewing personal reading skills, individuals should evaluate their ability, comprehension, reading speed, critical thinking abilities, and capacity to extract meaning from the written text. Feedback from educators or peers, along with personal reflection, can aid individuals in identifying strategies to enhance their reading proficiency and comprehension. Reading skills can also help to foster a love of learning and encourage lifelong learning. And this helps you discover new interests, builds confidence, and learn practical skills, and improves your ability you know, it's so important when we look at reading. It's developing, you know, if it's a student, it's developing their critical thinking and memory skills, and it's helping them focus and their ability to solve problems. So if that is both, not just for the student, it's also for professional relationships as well. It's really important. Your reading skills is really important in any situation, you know, and it's, you know, the importance of it helps you build this self-image, you know, of yourself, but also, you know, it's a skill that even, you know, we say it's just for children, but even adults, you know, they need to, you know, deal with day-to-day life. So the benefits of introducing reading skills is to, you know, be knowledgeable. It stimulates imagination. It's, you know, it's really important in regards to identifying any sort of issues around, you know, understanding things. But also, you know, it builds your you know, it gives you a multifaceted process where you recognize words and comprehend their meanings. You know, it stimulates your brain a little bit more, you know, to look at things and, you know, have patience. You know, it stimulates your brain to sharpen your mind and think about, you know, you know, you know, introduce more things into your brain. But, you know, it also um you know, benefits you to strengthen your writing ability as well. Reading skills does. It inspires you to stay positive and express your thoughts more clearly. Reading helps us develop really the knack of understanding, really. That's the whole point, for understanding perspective of different authors or different writers. And it's crucial to comprehend the subject matter and allow, you know, your memory to retain it. It's a journey, is a reading. It leads to a journey and is an essential aspect of learning and multiple benefits. Attached reading is important because it makes you empathetic, as we mentioned, knowledgeable, and stimulates your imagination, you know, and reduces, and it has been said that that reading helps you reduce tension and relax your muscles, and reduces stress as well. So it's a good thing. The next one is distinction level, producing a plan to improve communication skills. So to attain the distinction level, individuals must develop a comprehensive plan to enhance their personal communication skills. This plan should encompass goal setting, strategies, resources, and a realistic timeline for implementation. And the goal setting, and we'll be looking at the SMART goal setting, which is to look at identifying, you know, the SMART process, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. It's imperative for improving communication skills effectively. Individuals should establish clear and actionable goals for enhancing each communication skill, such as improving clarity in verbal communication, refining grammar proficiency in written communication, honing active listening skills, and augmenting reading comprehension abilities. Examples, SMART goals may include attending communication workshops, practicing active listening daily, reading a set of number of pages per day, or setting aside dedicated time for writing piece. So the SMART goals stands, as we mentioned, specific, measurable, achievable, and time-bound. Defining these parameters as they pertain to your goal ensures that your objectives are attainable, as we mentioned, within a certain time frame. This approach eliminates generalities with guesswork, sets a clear timeline, as we mentioned, and makes it easier to track your progress and identify any missed milestones. An example of SMART goal statement might look like this. Our goal is to by a quantifiable objective by the time frame. Key players will accomplish this goal by what steps you achieve and accomplishing these goals. So the result and the benefit. So, you know, it identifies, you know, the strategies around that. So strategies, identifying specific strategies and techniques is essential for achieving communication skill improvement goals. Individuals should explore various strategies tailored to each communication skill, such as practicing public speaking to enhance verbal communication, writing daily journal entries to refine written communication, and participating in active listening exercises, and diversifying reading materials to broaden comprehension and critical thinking abilities. Examples of strategy may include recording and reviewing verbal presentations, seeking constructive feedback on written assignments, engaging in reflective listening practices, exercises, and exploring diverse genes and topics in areas. Improving your verbal skills. So in today's world, communications are essentials, whether they're talking on the phone or meeting someone face to face. So these strategies can help you connect with others. So good communication helps prevent conflicts, as we mentioned, and this may arise in ambiguity of miscommunication. So effective communication skills and strategies are foundational to any good personal or professional relationship. Learning successful strategies in communication can impact your ability to motivate others, have more engaging conversations, share information, and practice more efficient problem solving. So communication strategies can help employees and co-workers understand what is expected of them, meet their goals, and boost motivation. Communication skills are essential if you're in a leadership position or manage a team where you must delegate responsibilities while maintaining respective relationship. And it's really important to use these strategies to help you enhance, and become better and have effective communication. These strategies are there to enhance the learner's writing, for them to present their work. Strategies are the cornerstone of any team success and any organization. And developing these strategies help you actively listen. Verbal communication also help you to become more effective communicator. So resources, utilizing resources can support individuals in their journey to improve communication skills. A wide array of resources is available, including books, online courses, workshops, mentors, peer support groups, and communication apps. Individuals should leverage these resources to access diverse perspectives, gain practical insights, and acquire valuable skills and knowledge in communication. Examples of these resources may include communication textbooks, online writing courses, public speaking workshops, which will help people that want to present and, speak publicly to individuals and gives them that confidence as well. Workshops, communication themed podcasts, writing forums, and communication related apps for language learning and skill development. It's really important when we look at, the fact that, you need to communicate effectively. Developing these skills is constant, and, learning and listening and using the verbal, non-verbal communication and all these strategies helps you communicate effectively. And you have these resources in place that help you, have a structure. Timeline. So developing a realistic timeline is essential for anything. For implementing the plan and achieving communication skills improvement goals. So that's using the SMART and analogy as well. The timeline should be structured to accommodate short-term, long-term objectives, allowing for gradual progress and continuous improvement. Individuals should break down the timeline into manageable steps, setting specific deadlines for each goal and milestones. And that was using the SMART plan. Regular progress assessments and adjustments to the timeline may be necessary to ensure accountability and maintain a momentum towards skill enhancement. You know, a communication plan is a detailed plan that conveys information to your audience, which may vary depending on the situation. So, you know, the importance of planning is really important in any role because it's the overall success of a marketing or communication campaign, including setting and managing expectations for all parties and increasing efficiency and maintaining a positive and open relationship with clients and customers out there. So in conclusion, personal communication skills are integral to success in various spheres of our life, enabling individuals to connect, collaborate, and convey ideas effectively, be it from a student, from a business perspective, you know, from any perspective, you know, why it's so important to have effective communication in place. By reviewing and refining verbal communication, written communication, listening skills, and reading skills, all of which have really the cornerstone of every organization or every element strategy of communication, individuals can enhance their ability to communicate with clarity, empathy, and confidence. The process of feedback and personal reflection serves as a valuable tool for identifying areas of strength and areas for improvement in communication. Additionally, developing a structured plan, which we looked at developing a good plan, would help identify, you know, your strength and areas for improvement in communication, and for improvement encompassing goal, setting strategies, resources, and a timeline empowers individuals to proactively enhance their communication skills and achieve their personal and professional aspirations. You know, having a communication plan, it's important to review your goals and milestones, as I mentioned, and to analyze your plan's success. And understanding these communication goals is worked well, and it improves and makes the necessary changes for the future. You know, your having a good plan can increase things like product sales and profits. It's can do with client satisfaction, project completion. You know, they are different. You know, you are developing and creating a plan which is effective and is a useful tool for running on schedule. So now we've finished learning outcome 4. These are some of the resources we've used for learning outcome 4. The next session would be learning the assignment discussion sessions. Some plenary is to refer to, again, talking about Moodle, referring to ebooks and journals, any sort of additional reading on Moodle. For this unit is all on Moodle, so please refer to Moodle. If you have any questions or any sort of queries about the unit itself or any of the learning outcomes, if you have, kindly email learnerwork@ukvarsity.co.uk. And the next, so we finished learning outcome 4 now on business communications. The next session we'll be doing is the assignment discussion session, which is the next session, and we'll be looking at what is expected of you to complete the assignment. Thank you for attending today's session, and I will see you at the next session, which is the assignment discussion session. Thank you.